So you're looking at all of this when the game is going on.
Correct. Correct.
How do you do it?
I don't know how to answer that, to be honest with you. But so most of the week is just working to get this all together.
What is all this, though? Like,
So,
I see their jersey numbers, and that's all I recognize.
So, all right, running back, quarterbacks, receivers, tight end, offensive line, kicker, and punter. And then here, defensive line, linebackers, and defensive backs.
And what are the notes? Like, what notes do you make sure you have
So,
each guy?
here, let's go here.
Okay.
So here's running back. Average yards per carry, total yards, total touchdowns. In the red is what they did in the previous game. 8 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches. Here, 42 career rushing touchdowns, 5 career touchdown catches, 9 games of 100 yards.
So this is your cheat sheet. When we hear you on the radio and you can spit out stuff so quick, you're looking at this.
Yes, yes. And then other things like, for example, here's with what Will Howard has done. 3rd in the nation in passing efficiency, 4th in the nation in completion percentage.
Isn't it kind of fun as you get to add more about what
Yes.
on?
Yeah, and you just keep changing it all. Here was what he had been averaging in the 2 previous playoff games. So, and then you kind of do the same thing with receivers. That's number of catches, total yards, TD catches. The orange, he was freshman of the year, wide receiver of the year in the Big Ten. And then on the defense, it's kind of the same thing. So you'll see here with Tui Moloau, total tackles, total number of sacks, in the red what he did in the previous game. And then in his career, he's got 2 interceptions, one of them for a touchdown, and 21 sacks.
I figured you'd have this all memorized.
No.
You sound like you do.
No, some of it, yes, but no. No, it's an organized mess. Really, the biggest thing is just knowing where all of that is.
Sure.
So when, let's say Jeremiah Smith catches a touchdown, I can look and see that it would be his 15th touchdown catch of the year. So.
And so you make this up for every single
game. Every game.
Where's the one for the game Monday?
That's the one that I'm putting all the different colors on right now. As you can see, it's a little cleaner so far.
Yeah.
So there's Ohio State's offense, Notre Dame's defense, Notre Dame's offense, Ohio State's defense.
And you have a lot of colors. Why do you have so many different color pens?
I know, that's really ridiculous. It's overkill. But it's just to make things, to distinguish one thing from another. Yeah. So, like I said, the red for previous game, blue oftentimes is career numbers, and then I'll use some of the other different colors like first team All Big Ten. If there's a trend like what they've done in the last 4 or 5 games, something like that. I never use all these colors, but at least I have them.
Does it ever get old having to remake this every single week?
It doesn't get old. It's a lot of work, but and there are people who offer to do it for you, but it's kind of like studying for a test. You're better off when you do your notes yourself rather than have somebody else do it. So it's kind of a routine during the week. It doesn't
every week you're
every
cramming
week
for like a new test.
A new test, as well as at this time of year with basketball going on too. So where's the mess I have for basketball?
I don't know.
Yeah, because there's a game tomorrow that I've got to do. I think is that. No, I know where they.
No pressure, Paul.
No. Hang on, I'll show you. Now let me show you the one that was. So yes, cramming for that test, and so here's from the game the other night at Wisconsin.
Oh my gosh. So long as you can make sense of that's
so
what counts.
Everybody who does this kind of stuff, they have their own routine, their own way of doing it, and you kind of develop that over all of the years.
How many years have you been doing this routine?
This is my 27th season doing Ohio State, and before that, a lot of years doing it for the University of Cincinnati. So yeah, it's been a minute doing this kind of stuff.
Do you ever try to also get other nuggets, if you will, besides just their stats and numbers? Like,
yep.
Try to find out something about their personal life, their family.
So here's each team for each game. We'll put out a set of game notes.
Yeah.
So you do get some statistical stuff. You do get a little biographical stuff. On their websites, they have their all individual bios. So you can pick out some of that stuff, like if there's guys whose fathers have played in the NFL, guys now with a transfer portal that have played at multiple schools, figuring out what schools they were in. And then at the beginning of the year, what I do, and I always have this with me each week, is the very first one I do at the beginning of the season. You want to talk about a mess? Look at that. So what that is included a lot of what they also did in high school. especially if they're first-year players. That's what's in the green, so that if somebody gets in that maybe hasn't played an awful lot, and you can see, like what they did in high school, 21 high school TD catches, something like that. So, but this one I keep with me through the course of the season, even though you spilled stuff on it. And if, like, in some of the games that get lopsided, guys get in that don't normally play a lot, I can immediately go to this and look and see what they did in high school.
Are you this organized in your personal life?
Not really.
That's it.
Not really. That's why I live by myself. I attempt to be. I attempt to be, but no. But it's a routine, and you just kind of, especially during a regular season, you know what, for the most part, what days you're going to work on what. And here's another big thing about it too. So I've got Notre Dame's last game on my laptop. I'll also DVR it at home too. So by the time the game gets here for the upcoming team, I've watched their previous game at least twice, sometimes more than that, just to get familiar with names and numbers for receivers, running backs, defensive backs, guys that are going to get to the ball the fastest. Know who substitutions are, things like that.
So you study the film just like the coach and the team?
I wouldn't say just like them, but yes, quite a bit.
But you have to.
Yes,
That's
yes.
Great.